Pranav, you are muted. Pranav.
Hi participants, welcome to the week 3 of our virtual internship program focusing on generative AI. We are really thrilled to have you here, and also we highly encourage active participation in today's session. Also, thank you Sangeeta ma'am for making this bootcamp happen. Over to you, Pooja. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pranav. Welcome, dear participants and ma'am, for being with us throughout these sessions and helping us as well as the participants stay engaged. First of all, we are into week 3 of our virtual internship session today on generative AI. I don't know how many of you would have noticed. We discussed really interesting key things throughout our 2 weeks. First of all, we tried to give you a brief basic on the generative AI session with our chat GPT clone of sorts that you could deploy onto your systems directly. The second one where we used DELAI, which is similar to a library tool as stable diffusion, helped you understand the power of generative AI going forward today. And as today we would talk about, in this virtual internship session 3, you would learn how you could use AI more responsibly. Rather than helping you create deepfakes, we would more and all talk about how you could actually identify those. So our topic for today is using artificial intelligence responsibly, thereby helping you do deepfake detection. So let's get started. And ma'am, would you like to add something before we get started?
No, no,
Sangeeta, ma'am?
no,
All right.
no.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Understood. Okay. So first of all, we would give a little bit, introduction and brief on computer vision. And after we talk about how computer vision and today's models that we will use for uh, helping identify an image as deepfake, we will talk about FaceNet MTCNN, and then we will enter into the kit demo and setup. And then we will also work around with our solution for today. So with this agenda, I have a quick question for all of you. Next slide, please. Sandhya? Okay, a quick question from all of you. What is the person on the left? Who's the person on the left? And if you could also identify the person on the top, right top corner. Okay, Raj does answer it. Okay, who else could identify the picture which is in small? A good one, Mohammed. Okay, okay. And I guess I hope others are also able to figure out these two people together here in the image. So looking at these images, do you think these are real images? These were published in Forbes. These were published in different news spaces internationally, and that actually had affected views of people around the world. So I'd quickly take you to the demo also for the kit today. So rather than seeing with the human eye somewhere, I believe that you were able to clearly state that this person on the left is Pope Francis, and on the right is Mark Zuckerberg, which were clearly identified by your both of our students. So I would take up the screen share and quickly take you to my kit here. So the solution today actually helps me identify static images as real or fake. So this is one of the images that I just showcased you. I have just streamlined it enough so that when I run it through my model is clearly able to state it as real or fake. So if you see, it actually mapped through areas of the image. There is a gradient mapping by masking areas of the face primarily to identify this image as fake or real. So this is a very important and essential part for today's model that we will use. We would use a model that will help us state a image generated by AI as real or fake. So clearly we are not able to humble request to mute yourself. Okay. So to be able to clearly identify, it looked like a real, Pope with this white jacket. And then if you similarly see, we also picked up this image of Zuckerberg who's walking on the ramp. Even in fact, this is also a fake image. So these were two deep fake, images that were created and then used to circulate, or I would say these were the basic ones that we are showcasing, but there are many others that are being used to diminish celebrity images. And hence, it is very important that we have tools, good enough tools that could identify, images are real or fake. So these are the basic ones. Going ahead, I have interesting one coming up. Let's say, okay, maybe I could try one of those. How many of you think, like, what do you think? Who is this guy? He is, he's someone on the streets of the Varanasi river banks. How many of you could identify him? I would look forward to you guys answering it. Could you please identify this guy? Hmm. Check again. Nobody could identify him. Uh, your famous series that you used to watch. So one of the most famous series, Hemsworth. No. This I did felt that this would be someone, you would give up the biggest shout out at. Hmm. Karthikeyan, you're right there. Absolutely. Yeah, it's the main character from the Game of Thrones, Jon Snow. And
Mohammed is
interesting.
right, actually, Pooja.
Mohammed has mentioned it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so Kit Harrington is what he had mentioned. I saw Chris Hemsworth. Good one. So Mohammed, I guess you've got a good look, and that's how you are able to identify the guy. But then this was something that was published few months back, or I think a month back itself, where they used the image of Jon Snow on the river banks of Ganga at Varanasi in this kind of an outfit. And if you see, it does look pretty much real as compared to a lot of deepfake images that are being generated. This looks closely as a real image. However, this is also being pretty much luckily being identified 100% as fake. So there are chances that the model may not be able to identify because this is a face that is a bit tilted. This is not clearly, focused completely on the face. So we need to, discuss and have a model around us that could help us not only determine a news as fake, but also identify any image that has been fakely circulated throughout social media. So this happened during Corona. This happened during elections. This happens specifically. This is happening so much these days on social media. With AI, a lot of this content generation, video generation is happening. However, we are not sure what is real and what is fake. So this could be a very interesting solution to look forward to. And I hope you guys are also interested in setting it up onto your systems. So to do that, we would follow our similar ritual. Let's get the link for the session. And can you please share it? Thank you. So we'll go ahead and click on the course page that is available. And as we go here, we would see that we were able to learn some fundamentals of computer vision with familiarizing yourself a bit on the MTCNN and the Inception RESTnet implementation. So we'll focus more on the implementation part. We're in the final week. And again, you will have a fully functional deepfake detector to your disposal. So the 10-minute refresher video is always available for you to revisit the concepts through checking it post the session. And if you want the entire recording, that will be available here. coming to the practical exercise session is what we are interested in today. I'll talk primarily about your final project, your final assessment, which is what you have to finish by the next week. So we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, even before that, let's get to the setup of the kit. So click on the Candy One Click Kit. It takes you to this page, kit page. You check out the deployment information that is listed in case you feel that you're not able to follow through the steps that I'm suggesting. Click on the one click installer. It will download a zip file. You just say show in folder. Extract the contents of this folder by right clicking and say extract all. Double click the folder, double click the batch file, say more info, and run anyway. So this will automatically set up this kit onto your systems. So let the setup happen. In the meanwhile, whatever it is asking, please let it set whatever dependencies are required. Usually Microsoft Visual Studio C++ is, I guess, one of the requirements for which you have to just say yes. So once you have this installed, you could minimize the screen and let the other dependencies set onto your systems directly. In the meanwhile, we'll talk about some very, very basic concepts for this session. All right. So we want to talk about computer vision. What is this field of machine learning? So primarily, we say that we want to imbibe the machines with the capability to make decisions similar to humans. And when we talk about computer vision as an overall field or domain of study, here we want the machines to be able to see, observe, understand, and then take decisions. So there is a trained, testing and training data set where we give the expected outcome, okay, and that we call a supervised learning. So that is obviously there, but in the field of computer vision, we want that our machines not they're not like natural language processing, where we want the machines to learn our language, learn the lingual, or to be trained on our language of our spoken language. Here we want the machine to be able to, we want to provide it a vision just like us. And then with the help of that vision, let's say we could have an application in driverless cars, self-driving applications of like, let's say metro, where you have, driverless metro trains running these days in Delhi. It's I think it's a year-long project that is already running, and slowly they are pushing it to most of the tracks in the Delhi metro. So that is really interesting to see that how artificial intelligence and machine learning overall have enhanced and improved the way we use these algorithms for follow our work around and making things easier. So detection of obstruction of humans, of vehicles, to be able to detect that vision or cognition or intelligence also has to be imbibed into the machine. We have applications in classification. Say we want to categorize a set of images into two categories, multiple categories. We want to do object detection. We can use it in detecting different objects, letting the machine be used as a vision of sorts. We could use it for tracking. Let's say if you want to track the path uh, visually for, let's say, a rider who is going to uh, specifically deliver a thing of priority, or I would say it could be used in security applications as well, right? That's how we are using these night vision cameras, where based on the kind of obstruction which could be harmful, alert is also being generated these days. So you have those intelligence also built in cameras, but then I think those some expensive applications. However, are now being available. You must have seen the IoT based doorbells, right? Where you could, based on different features that you require, it would alert you that, okay, this is the milk delivery guy, or is it your, someone from newspaper boy or someone, or else if it is someone of importance also, then the door would automatically be also opened. So all that is then two different technologies combined. We have our computer vision alongside with the Internet of Things, where we have the different uh, sensors, etc., being trained properly to behave and give out a application of this sort. So today's motivation, today's solution, why, what is the objective of discussion for today? We want to talk about computer generated images and discriminate those images from real individuals. Reason being because such images are being circulated and taken up and captured from the real ones, and then these are used to influence people decisions. So how are these used? These are used in elections. These are used by foreign nations. These are used to, the situation of war, the situation of discrimination between religions and religious leaders. And it could be used in various industries to manipulate people and manipulate their views about a certain, let's say, political party as well. So in fact, Facebook has themselves come forward, and they've proposed that they would be spending nearly $10 million going ahead with Microsoft to stop the deep fakers spreading information into social media. So that is also something that has been a big leap, and I think it's an essential step that is to be taken. And we, as an open source support, open source supporter of technology, believe in having a solution of our own. So we did understand it is generally, understood to be a video in which the face of one person can be swapped with the face of another person. It could not just be a static deepfake image. It could be a dynamic one where you may have seen, these deepfake videos being created, and there is a lip sync. There are variations of, other person's face being put on it, and usually they were clearly identified by the human eye earlier. Earlier it was easy that we could understand that it has been deeply, fakely created, but today it has become really difficult. Seeing the image, you were able to clearly say, okay, this was Pop, this was Mark Zuckerberg, but to be able to say that was Zuckerberg actually ramp walking, so that's not true. He wasn't doing anything of that sorts. And people who are influential, people do follow them around. They need to know exactly what is going on. How are we creating such deepfakes? Again, the process behind it is we are using deep learning models, neural networks, which are helping, when we talk about neural networks, what are these neural networks inspired from? These are again based on the brain structure, human brain structure that we, uh, where we have these synaptic connections and perceptron and, large amounts of data. We are able to keep it, we are able to shelf it properly within different portions of our brain. So similarly, we are using it a large amount of humongous data to create such deepfake images. But we want to talk more about using AI responsibly and not using it for diminishing a person's image or an organization, etc. So we get into the solution directly, where we talk about a two-step process. First, we would use MTCNN, which is multitask cascaded convolutional neural network. So when we talk about these neural networks, what are these? These are combinations of additions and multiplications, right? That are directed towards a specific outcome. Okay, let's take it really raw. I see a lot of mathematical operations going around within the model. How much are we concerned with understanding it? So if we see today, more and more technological advancements are happening. We're talking about generative AI. We are talking about the ease of getting a code that you could reuse. Similarly, when we talk about these neural networks, on a basic level, they are designed with a combination of some addition multiplication, resulting in a specific outcome, such that when we talk about, the recognition that happens, it basically takes into account a lot of raw images, and which it had been trained on, right? Where when we are taking us talking about the face recognition, so you need to be this model is already being trained on a lot of possible uh, faces, as in how to, identify regions of face which could be manipulated when our AI is generating us image of a person. Okay, so you do what? Before you calculate the embeddings, the vector form, you pass or you basically extract the face or the facial features using MTCNN, and then you pass those to the inception ResNet, your step 2 model. So first step is identification or recognition of the face. Okay, that is being directly applied to the images which we are looking forward to detect as fake or real. Then you, once you are able to get the efficient face detection from the particular image, video, so by taking the advantage of similarities between adjacent frames, okay, adjacent image frames, which are used to create those videos, you try to just locate the face, recognize the face, and then pass it through this inception model, where which is being trained on different data sets such as VGG phase 2 and Acacia web phase. So it has been trained on a huge amount of data set that contain both real and fake images. And this was how was this data set being created? So this was created. I'll talk about the creation of the data set. So this data set, first thing was, while we were talking about the uh, VGG FaceNet dataset. Initially, also there was a dataset for face forensics, fake catcher. There was Kaggle dataset, which was again all the augmentation labeling was done by Meta, Facebook, so that it is able to provide and get the dataset prepared. So what did they do? They organized a Kaggle competition where resources were provided by Meta, and that's how people were naming or labeling the required images as fake, real, deep fake image, etc. So these multiple data sets are what are available. And then this has been a gradual increase in the way in which your images are being identified. So there is a step one, where is you saying you are doing the extraction of the face. Then you are saying I am training my neural network. If you already have a pre-trained model, that step is something you don't need at all, right? And usually we will use a pre-trained model specifically for all these solutions going forward. Today, we don't have the required GPUs or the servers that could help us train our own, or create our own model. Then the conversion from these mathematical neural network-based models to the vector representation forms is what we are saying embeddings. These embeddings are then used, these mathematical embeddings or representations are then used by the machine to help identify the image as real or fake. It looked like a simple process, but yeah, it does take these three essential steps if required. And then there are a couple of challenges. So you have multiple faces within the image. And now the model wants to also state which face is, you're looking to check for being fake or real. Then your videos or images could be blurry. You could have obstructed faces, right? May not have a clear picture of the face. So that are some of the challenges that need to be resolved wherever you are working around with an image. So you will have to have a high quality image as well, or video, to be able to get the most appropriate results from the model. So whenever we are talking about open source, again, I would like to bring your focus on to key four things. You need to check whether I'm using this model. Later, if I want to make an enhancement, will I get the required support? Where do I have the required open source community backing? So you can check that with Candy. Security, if there are any vulnerabilities present in the library repository that you're using to develop your solution, that should be checked. Quality, again, it is the result of support and security overall being present. And how has this particular library also performed as compared to another one? We have chosen MTCNN. There is a style gang as well, which is another one that could be used for, I mean, it's a generative adversarial network that could also be used for deepfake detection. So you have to make a choice. You may have to make a comparison. So that quality check is also, or your key consideration is also required when you're using these open source tools, the kit also that we are saying. Finally, we come to the most essential part, which is license agreement, which as students we may just not consider much. So pretty much required to also look into the license agreement to be adhering to our requirement. Until and unless you are creating a commercial application, it is of not a big deal. But once you get into the real world, industry ready, you need to focus on these key considerations. Any organization would want an employee who is able to take care of also this consideration while using open source tools. So now let's get back to our deepfake detection. Let's check our kit. So this is a big model. Looks like, yeah. And in case it gets stuck for you as well, you could just go onto this screen and click enter. That way, okay, dependencies installed, repo also installed. And let's have the kit also set up completely quickly. Once you have already reached, how many of you are able to, set up this kit completely and you've just used the same process, say yes, and get the Jupyter notebook open for you? A quick check. How many of you are able to set up the kit, guys? Or has it taken too much time? Okay, Atulya has says, okay, my kit is also ready, guys, in the meanwhile. However, I just would want every one of you to be able to set this kit. And I hope this is an interesting solution. Anyone who's joined late may feel that, they don't know what the solution is like. Go ahead and check it out now. We're discussing it right away. So here is my setup that I have just done through this session as we are discussing. I would just ask to run all the cells. And this has actually these models already loaded here, so that could take some time. So we have Gradio, which is the one that we are using to build up the interface. Torch and especially torch.n neural network.functional, which we are using for our deep learning framework that we will use. From FaceNet PyTorch, we are importing both your MTCNN as well as your Inception ResNet V1, both models. Then NumPy, which is for numerical mathematics, numerical computation. This is for image uploading and converting the image to a PIL pillow form. So that for that we are using pillow. You have your computer vision CV, then you have GradCam. So this is used to uh, get to the gradients or the regions of the face where the masking, with the help of masking, the detection for being an image is, the model is able to state that the image is fake. You saw that masking over the fake image happened, right? So that all is something that we are doing with the GradCam. And then we also imported some classifier output target as one of the class here, and show cam on image. Okay, so the grad cam that we are trying to show in the output image as well, for which we have this particular class. And warnings we want to just ignore. Then comes to the part where either if we are using it through a GPU or a CPU, we are working with the local machine. So initially, when you're first time running it, it may take a longer time. So just expect you to be patient. What are the different parameters that we have set for our MTCNN? So we could set the select largest. So if the image has multiple, whatever image you want to check and it has multiple faces, then it will select the largest if you set this to true. Post process, if you want to set up some parameter you want to, if you would like, you can just say shift tab and check out these, right? Image size, there's margin, minimum face size, etc. So these are all different parameters that you can mention. You can read about these different parameters here and accordingly tinker a little bit with what this model is already being set to. So these are some default parameters. You go ahead and try to tinker with the different ones as of now. Here we are setting the device to CPU for my case, and then we want to load it into the evaluation mode, your MTCNN model. Similarly, we do the same for the inception ResNet with the different parameters that is have. This is pre-trained, we say none, classify false, num classes, dropout probability. If you want to read what these are, you could actually also get into these details of this. So if pre-trained was none, but here we've set it to VGG phase 2. That is what I was saying. So if you go ahead and Google a little bit on the VGG phase 2 dataset, you would know that it is one of the most interesting ones that would help you do the detection as real or fake. Then we've set up a checkpoint here for your model weights that we are loading into this path from this, and we are loading it into this checkpoint. And then again, you're setting it up to a evaluation mode. So here, this is what your model looks like. And then comes in your next step. So this is the main method, the predict one. Here you have an input image where you want to uh, pass it, this input image to the MTCNN. So first the face detection happens. If there is no face, if there is a face is none, so then it would say no face detected. Or else, if that's not the case, then it would unsqueeze or, just try to get the dimensions uh, for it, and then interpolate the face into this 26 256 256 cross 256 size, and set the mode to bilinear. So there are different modes at which you could set the you know interpolation. Bilinear is what is more suitable, and we could say is one that is standard as well. If you go and get into the tensor form here, you would see different parameters, right? What are we doing when we are saying we are trying to create we want to map the face in a mathematical form. If you want to say it in a easy manner, we want to put the face into form of a array. Okay, so we try to interpolate it first, get it to the right size and mode, and then if you want to align the corners, that is also something you could do it by setting this to true, saving that final face here, and then working on the conversion into a numpy array here. And then you also check the type. So is it uint 8? If yes, you set it to the previous face. You then get this face onto the device, divided by the 255 measure, and put it into the mathematical form again before you can plot this mathematical image, face image, into the form of a plot. So then this is what we want to do. Final do the mathematical plot of the image. So after that you have done, we need to apply these layers. When we talk about the layers, we are then trying to get to the masking part, where you need to mask the portion of the image, or you need to identify the portion of the image which has enabled you to state the image as real or fake. So you call your grad cam, and for the grad cam here, as you call, again you see there is a parameter model, there is target layers, there is the device that you're using, and there is another parameter which is your reshape, the transform, the tensor that you have created. Okay, so then you get to pass your mathematical tensor, which is your face, as an input to the cam, and you align the eigenvectors as to smooth. Then let to, whatever is the scale, you just grayscale it and then set it on the grayscale cam. On visualization, the plot for that face image is being created, and you want to use the RGB as your mode. So if you see, you could use, a color map, you could use RGB. They've mentioned here, right? Use RGB, or you could also use Boolean as one of your parameters. The base image in RGB or BGR, either of the format is what you could use. Then you add the weights as well. Okay, this previous phase here, where we were squeezing it, or let's say putting it into a numpy for array, we've set it to a format, and then visualization where we are plotting it then 0.5 and 0. So face with the mask. Okay. The face, the outcome with the mask is what is being showcased in the last. So it's torch.no underscore grad. Here we try to get the output in, I mean, the prediction done for the model by passing the face in a form, whether we have divided either it's a real one or either it's a fake one, based on value that either it is less than 0.5 or greater than. If it is greater than, then we would want to say it as a real one. I mean, you are reducing this as an output item from one, and saying whatever else apart from this comes out will be fake prediction. So, and then you are just stating it as a real or fake within the list that you have created with the name confidence. Sorry, a dictionary with the name confidence. So then you returning the confidences as well as the face with the mask as the output. And this is simply your interface, right? This Gradio interface. The input image class, face with explainability, etc. So this is your final output space where you could showcase the image. So let's go ahead and quickly check out some other images. This is my own image. I just want to input it, and I do get an error here. So let me just clear this one up and rerun it to the model. And here it is stating this, that these are the portions of the image. So even my own image with the confusion, it is able to say that 99% is real and 1% it is fake. So that's also something that we need to recognize. Let me try with Keanu Reeves image and try and submit it. So you see, this is this could be a bit identifiable one that could that is something I generated from an AI based image as well. So not just these images, you could actually go into the model, check out these different example images. Let's say this is a this one maybe. This one does look fake. We could pick this one, and it is able to state with 86% probability. So then it depends on the quality also of the image that you are putting forward. So let me try this guy. It's taking its own sweet time, and it is able to state it with 100% probability. So the more the state is the face, and this one also looks like a real guy, but this is again a fake image. So yeah, I'm just trying to demo you with certain images that are present as to, this masking that is being done at this particular portion is able to give us the is through the grad cam that we are imposing it here and showcasing. So I hope this was an interesting solution of sorts that we discussed in today's session. I would now be requesting you to put up your queries, if they are any, on this particular deepfake detection session that we just had. I mean, it was, I guess, an interesting one of sorts to be discussed. Uh, but yeah, I would look forward to, output from you guys. How many of you you were able to go through the week two's coding exercises? You may have already received your badges, right? Yes or no? You could also unmute yourself. All right. Okay. Shashank and Divya says they've received. Okay, interesting. So just in case you may not have, is there anyone who hasn't received their badges? If not, then the exercises may not have been suitably done. Uh, or else you'll receive it by today. So that's one thing. And apart from that, today, I think you received an email where he did mention that it could be good to have you camera ready. So please just go, if not yet, uh, you 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 should be a little prepared to switch on the camera. There's a small thing that we'll do before we will conclude the session. But even before that, just hold on. I would want to discuss how you would be doing your project submissions. Okay. Your project submissions, we'd talk about that. So for your project submission, all right. Okay, coming to this community page, which holds your final assessment and project submission. If you go ahead and click this, you would see, obviously, you would select the name of your college. You would give us some name. Your year of study could be third year or final year. And then when we say next, here, if you see, you would just have to answer some 3 questions and some 3 simple coding exercises. But your final project is something that is very, very important. So this final project submission, you will have to do it in the form of a candy kit. One thing, first things first, we want you to be really simple while you do your submission. We've also attached a video that you can watch on how to create a candy kit. These are the steps that you have to follow. When you create a candy kit, you need to add description, dependent library, GitHub repository link, and solution source screenshot. So how do you go about creating one? So let me show you. You just have to get on to candy.openweaver.com. Here if you haven't signed up, you have to sign in. Click on Explore MySpace. Click on Explore MySpace. This is very important. Please listen to it. This is how you'll have to submit your project. And only then we will be able to assess what you have submitted and go forward with this. All right. So when I go to my MySpace, here I can go ahead and click on my list and create a new list. Okay. As I go and create a new list, here I need to mention the name or the title for which I am creating my project. Let's say it's a generative AI project on creating or building art, something that you would like. So let's say I would just give you an example from our last session. Let's say I just gave it a name called Build Your Own Chat GPT. Then you just add, choose an image that you think is interesting. Maybe this human mind. And then I would also give some tags to it, as if like generative. Okay, artificial intelligence, maybe deep learning. All right. I mean, it completely depends on your choice. You just have to add some tags if you can, if you would like to do that. First section would be description. What would be your first section? It will be description. Description about the kit that you have created. So just go ahead and paste it here. You could go and say heading 2, or maybe it's too big. Let's say heading 3. And then we add the description. So I'll add the description, whatever is about the kit. Then I also add this banner of sorts, right? I could just copy it, an image, whatever you think is suitable, copy that. All right. Now I want one more content editor. I'll click on this and I'll add it to, say, either you are adding the dependent libraries used. Okay. What libraries you have used. So I'll just again put it as a heading 3. And when you're talking about the dependent libraries, you need to add some libraries that you may have used in the solution. So for that, I will simply search here. Let's say for ChatGPT, I'll just make a search as ChatGPT. Go to the libraries part. Maybe I add some awesome ChatGPT prompts. I may add visual ChatGPT. It could be a repo. Something with ChatGPT on the web. Maybe a retrieval plugin, API, a Google extension. right? Whatever I think is suitable, I just have to save it. Where does it get saved? It gets saved in MySpace. So in the MySpace, I simply have to select this first one to select all the libraries and then say move to. Where do I want to move it? I want to move it to my new list. Okay. And I would say move. When I move it, I would click on it. And very important, just click on this save button every now and then. Always good to save it. Okay. It automatically does auto save, but for our own ease, let us just do a save here. So what are we doing? We are adding a section 1, which is description. A section 2, which was dependent libraries used. I will just highlight it once again. Heading 3. Okay, then I need a section 3, which is going to be GitHub repository link. Okay. So you just have to add whatever solution you are picking into GitHub. And as you add it to GitHub as a repository, let's say I would have a GitHub account here. I would look for my repositories. And let's say you have to upload your code here, right? So I would say just build your own chat GPT. Once you have all your code and everything uploaded like this, okay? All the code and all the files that you've uploaded here. Once your project is ready, just copy this and paste it in the space. I mean, not paste it, but link it in the space here. Just say paste. Click on this and then enter this as a link here. Save it as a link, okay? And then there is a fourth very important section. Even if you submit a repository link, but you don't add a solution source screenshot. Solution source screenshot. We want you to add a solution source screenshot. Just say heading 3. And here, what do? You add a screenshot of the code. Okay. A screenshot of whatever is your code as well as the outcome that you're getting. Okay. So just add this screenshot. You could add multiple screenshots if you would like. I think I just had one. I will add another one here with the code. Make it as interesting, as clean as possible. I've added both the screenshots here. Then what I have to do, I just click on this save. Okay. Publish this as a kit and say publish now and wait for it to generate a link. So then it will say your kit is successfully published. Click on view your kit. So you see, I just created another fresh native repository link and a solution source screenshot, etc. So you can add multiple screenshots if you would like. Talk about the dependent libraries, talk about the description, make the kit as interesting as possible. And you can actually share these kits with your friends, etc. And we'll also look forward to the interesting ones. Okay. We would look forward to the interesting ones. We'll go for some testimonials, etc. from you guys based on your submissions. Okay. So I hope this Candy Kit submission was clear to all of you. Was it clear? The submissions through Candy Kit? We have a video also if you would like to check. Okay. All right. Thank you, Raj. Apart from the submission through the Candy Kit, another thing. When you are submitting in the form, I hope you are able to get the final part. These will be the 4 sections. If you want how to submit or create one Candy Kit, click on this video, watch it there. So this is a question, dwell into the fascinating field of generative AI generative artificial intelligence explore its potential in creating unique applications around image, text, speech generation. You could develop a generative AI system capable of creating interesting image, text, speech applications using open source libraries. So we kept it as simple and as generic so that you are able to at least find some solution and then accordingly make a little change to it and then use it as submission. So the link that you are creating for the candy kit, you have to provide it in the space here. And very important, save it and publish your candy kit. Only then the link would be generated. Paste it here and then submit. That's how you're able to get your complete submission for your project. So yeah, I guess this is it from our end. I hope these 3 weeks were interesting for you guys. And I think it's time now for you to come up with your doubts, queries, and we could also go ahead and just get you to switch on your cameras, please. Okay, thank you. Others as well. Let's have you on the cameras. Will that be good? We would want you to say a goodbye with you guys also on the camera. Okay. Mm, okay. I think Raj, for you, you may have to reload your camera. I mean, switch off and switch on it once again. Now I can see you. Thank you. And what about others? I hope you don't have to be feeling shy about it. Usually we are doing these things in the virtual form. So it'll be good to have all of us being seeing each other. So we do play it using a together mode as well, where we sit together in a space like this. And team, are we taking pictures as well? Thank you. All right. Mhm. So yeah, we just like to keep tinkering. You could also use any of the virtual backgrounds that you would like. We do have gallery options for all of you. Atulya is here. There. Hi, everyone. All those who've actively participated, we will be actually contacting you back as well. Post this, completion of this internship to check back onto your solutions and get your valuable feedbacks. So we are open to feedback. We are open to making it more and more convenient going forward for you. But don't take it from a easy convenient perspective. It should be something that is valuable to you, adding up to you as an industry experience, guys. So quickly, we will go back to our together mode with all of you. I think we are very less in number. Sandhya, a quick question. Last time we were on a different together mode. This looks very different. Any ideas as to why our together mode is very different this time?
Maybe you can see that gallery mode, Pooja, that itself is good only.
This one? This looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Karthikeyan and anyone else who would like to join us for this, uh, final session, final discussion, guys. It'll be good to see you guys. Mostly you guys are just sitting and then viewing the session. Sometimes it would be really boring also as we talk. But I hope it was also interesting for a couple of you who may have learned something, just beyond what we keep learning every now and then during our academic sessions. So any inputs that you would like to give? Raj, Divya, Atulya, you could unmute and speak. This is difficult to break ices in these sessions. Go ahead, Raj, we can hear you.
When I joined this session for the first week, I thought it would be like remaining other session just for certification. I joined so that I can show in the class or like put in the LinkedIn or all. After the first week, then I explored those candidates and we're working on my own, changing the codes. Then it was very interesting. And yesterday I thought that last week will be the like yesterday. I ran away from metro and I thought of joining. They understood that last class is on today. So I was like ready 1 hour before and joined. And then yeah, it was like very interesting. Uh, till now, it has been like 4 years, 3 years journey. I'm in the first 4 year, like last year. It was like one of the like most memorable and insightful session we had. Thank you so much for conducting and
Thank you. Thank you to you guys, Neeta ma'am, especially for coordinating it us. All through the sessions, we've been always, I think Pranav talks to ma'am, checks back, like how was it, and how it should be going forward for you guys as well. So that some sessions, when we are talking about generative AI, the solutions, the exercises, we can't just keep them very simple. We can't keep them, something which is very difficult. We try to keep the mix of both. And even after the virtual internship, we want you to explore using code snippets. We want you to become more confident with your programming by just using, the right search and being able to get the code and then not feel that, I couldn't create an application on my own. So that is usually our intention behind these interesting kits, etc. Thank you. And, anyone else who would like to say anything, even if you want to say that I was expecting something more or I was expecting something less. It's good to talk, always. It's just me talking, ma'am talking, Pranav talking. Anyone else who wants to talk?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Here. Ma'am, I have one doubt regarding this internship. In two
Okay.
classes that we had, the exercise that we had now, ma'am. In
Yes.
that, the output of the candidate, that is chat GPT that we had, finally, in that I was not able to take the output because I was not able to get my customized thing. It just ran and I got the thing and all. Everything was successful. Build and all, everything was successful. Both last week and previous week, both the week, I was not able to put my own image and also my own voice. It was not able to show that picture. And first week also, chat GPT, my query, it did not convert into that summarize.
Ma'am, two things we wanted to check. One thing was we wanted to check whether you are having an account within the limits. I mean, the 3 months is what this OpenAI have become very, they are trying to monetize it primarily. They initially were giving it for free credits. So were you able to check whether you had sufficient credits and those credits have not expired?
Um,
I'll help you, ma'am, quickly with that. I'll give you a quick run through. Let's say you have the session here where let's say the chat GPT one itself. If you go to the kit, we have listed down the instructions clearly that you have to get your OpenAI's key from here. So when you go ahead and get the key, okay, I'll have to sign up. When you
Yeah.
go and get the key, so this, if you see for particular this account of mine, it expired on 1st May. I have the credits left. Still the account has expired. So if I will use any key from this account, okay, any of the key from this account, it won't work for me. So this is something which is from OpenAI. So what we got to do, you just have to create a fresh account, a latest account with the usage, you just have to check. There will be, I guess, $5 credits that they are giving currently for whatever new accounts that are being created. And it should be valid for, and then you create a fresh API key. Then you go ahead and create a fresh key. Then it will surely work for you.
Then we should go for payment and then only we
No. I won't suggest you work around with payments. Let's create a fresh account, ma'am, with a new email ID and a phone number. That way it will work.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, ma'am. Any other like things that you would want to do before we close today's session? Abhishek, Divya, Mohammed. So it's been really good to have these engagements, right? Without engagements, I mean, my feeling is I'm not able to do anything through the session until and unless any instructor, mentor would only be able to feel that okay, it was worth it. If you would even say that I felt that it was a bit difficult, but yeah, at least give some interesting, constructive feedback to us also. This is your time to speak. We won't be meeting again, at least, even virtually for now. Okay. I think it was good. And thank you, ma'am, for such an amazing opportunity to get engaged with the students and yourself. We will actually look forward to many more such interesting opportunities going forward with SRM.
Thank you. Now we come to the end of this lively gathering. I thank Ms. Pooja, Sandhya, and Pranav for this wonderful boot camp. Initially, I don't have any idea about how this virtual internship will be, because in our period we didn't have this kind of opportunities. We never attended. So I don't have any idea about this, but this information is really awesome. So thank you for your presence, your presentation, your interaction with the students. Everything was very well. Really, I'm glad to have you guys. I would like to thank all of you, our esteemed audience, actually, these participants. Your active participation. Many were interacted during these weeks, and for making this event as a grand success. Actually, I just want to thank everyone.
Absolutely, ma'am. I also would agree to your point. The students are the one who actually made it more and more successful going forward for us. And based on their feedback is what we also improvise. We not only have this 3 interesting sessions, we've got so many more if you could go and explore. There's something on Meta's Music Gen. This is going to come tomorrow on our YouTube, where I'm going to discuss how you could generate music. So something I'm working on for this entire week. And I'm actually very excited about that kind of a kit where I'm actually able to generate music with text. So AI has become breakthrough. It's just breakthrough, and we just have to keep learning every day. That's how it is. So thank you everyone, and thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sandhya, can you just close with the discussion on their submission deadlines, etc.?
Yeah, so students, you will get an follow-up email with all the resources that we use today, including the project assessment that you need to complete. So therefore, kindly request you to check your inbox. If you're having any queries, please clarify notes.
In case you have queries to clarify, and also the deadline. What is the deadline date for them to submit the project?
Deadline is next week, 28th July, Friday, 6 p.m.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you
day.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you,
Thank
students.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.